Hi everyone, and welcome to my Facebook Live today. My name is Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. It's great to have you joining me today. Thank you so much. I've got a beautiful project to share with you today using some new product from the the July to December mini catalogue, 2021 that is. So I'm excited to share that with you, and I'll do that in just a moment. Well, just a few moments. We'll have a little chat first and wait for everyone to jump on. So as you're jumping on, say hi. Feel free to let me know that you're here. I love it when you chat with me. So if you are here with me live on Facebook today, you'll see a red live button up the top there, and you'll know that you're live with me. If you're watching the Facebook later on replay, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And if you're watching on my YouTube channel later, thank you so much as well for coming to my YouTube channel. And if you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button that's just down below the video here. And you'll also see a little bell icon there too. If you click on that, then you can choose to be notified every time I upload a new video. So as everybody is jumping on, I will bring this up on my iPad so that I can see all of your comments there. So let me just turn my iPad on first. That will help, won't it? This morning I had, well, the last couple of days actually, I've had issues with my iPad stand because I have that on the same, well, it's my iPad holder. It's a clamp thing that holds my iPad, and it's on my stand. And I was having trouble with it. It kept falling down all the time. It had become a little bit loose, and so I had been fiddling with it for a long time this morning, trying to get it right, and yeah, finally came up with a workaround to fix it a little bit. So hopefully it will stay put and it won't fall down while we're filming today. Oh, hi Laura, how are you? Great to have you here. Happy Monday. Yes, the start of a new week. I have had a fabulous day today, thank you. I actually got up early this morning, well, early for me, and yeah, I've got a lot accomplished already today, so that's been really, really good. But yeah, my husband and daughter had to go out to take both my daughter's car and my husband's car to go for servicing and rego checks and things. And so I had the puppy from early this morning. So yeah, that got me up and got me organized, which is good. So, and it's actually really good to get up earlier than what I'm used to, and get some things done. So it might actually get me into bed earlier tonight, which is a goal I have for the coming year as well, is to get into bed a bit earlier. And I tend to be a bit of a night owl. Who else is a night owl? Who else is a late night crafter? Anybody else out there the same as me? Laura says, I've had a good day too. Kids at work were quite settled, so that was good. Ah, good. What breed is our puppy? Our puppy is a Maltese Terrier, purebred, a little white ball of fluff. And she hasn't been to the groomer for a while because of the current lockdown situation. And yes, so she is extremely fluffy at the moment, getting a bit out of control. I'm going to have to see if the groomer if we're able to get her to the groomer soon, because some of the restrictions are starting to lift a little. So we might be able to get her there in the next few weeks, which would be great. Yeah, we just can't. We can trim her here and there where she needs it in the important parts, but can't clipper her like the groomer does. And her nails, we tried doing her nails the other day. Oh my goodness, that was a drama. I did it really well when she was younger, and then I didn't have to worry because the groomer was doing it. And now she hasn't been to the groomer. Her nails are long, but she doesn't like us doing it anymore. So anyway, she's a little bit of a little miss, let's just say, but she's adorable. Do you have any pets, Laura? I would love to know if you do. We are animal lovers in this house. Well, some of us in this house are animal lovers. One of our daughters actually works at Sea Life Aquarium with as a marine mammal keeper, and so she looks after dugong and stingrays and penguins and the touch pool, so all different kinds of interesting things. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. And the turtles as well. Sorry, I'll just take a sip of water. Sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. I was doing so well. I'd even had a sip of water before I started filming, and I still got a tickle in my throat. That's okay. Hi, Athena. Oh, you're still working. Okay. You might need to turn me down if I get too loud. Laura said they have a lab cross, Hunterway. Oh, a Hunterway. I haven't heard of that breed before. I'll have to Google that later. She's a black dog. Oh, okay, getting old now. She's awesome with your 2 kids. Oh, that's great. How old is she? Our last dog was a Shih Tzu, and we had her till December last year from the time she was a puppy, and she was 14 when she passed away in December. So we're hoping we've got as many years with this little one. This little one is just 9 months. She just turned 9 months on, oh wait, yesterday. Yesterday she just turned 9 months. So yeah, I had to check to see what the date was today. I'm losing track. All the days are rolling into each other. She's about 11. Oh, there you go. Yeah, very good. Oh, that's good. Well, I will make a start. Oh, and that's okay. No worries, Laura. We'll see you when you come back. Hi, Angela. Great to have you with us today. How are you? I wanted to let you all know of some exciting things which I have been talking about for the last few weeks. So we haven't got long left now of our Celebration promotion. Celebration is going to be ending on the 30th of September. So that's next week. Next week? Yes. Thursday of next week, it's going to be finishing. So if you haven't earned any of your freebies yet from Celebration, you've got still a week and a half to get those. With Celebration, for every order that you purchase of $90, you get to choose a free product from this Celebration brochure. And there's stamp sets, there's designer series papers, which is our pattern papers, there's dies as well. And then we've got some items for when you hit $180 as well. So, or when you hit $180, you can choose 2 of the $90 order products. So if you haven't already got those, then make sure to take advantage of those in the next week and a half, because there's lots of awesome products in there. Now, being that it's only a week and a half, it's cutting it a bit fine for me to get one of these brochures to you. However, I do have a PDF version on my blog. Let me hold up my blog details for you. There you go, mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com. If you go there to my blog, you can see a PDF version of the Celebration brochure, as well as our current catalogue. So we've got our mini catalogue and our big annual catalogue as well. You can find all of them on my blog. When you go to my blog, when you get to the landing page, over on the right hand side in the right hand column, that's where if you just scroll down a little bit, that's where you'll find them there on my blog. So you can have a look there. And of course, you can always go to my online store. And my online store you can get to from my blog as well. I've got a shop button, so you can click on the shop button at the top of my blog, or you can go to my website as well. There's a shop now button there also, so you can get to my online store either way. So it makes it nice and easy for everybody. If you are shopping with me, remember to use my host code. There's my host code for September, and when you use my host code, I can send you a thank you gift. So every order gets a thank you card from me, but when you use my host code, then I'll be able to send you a gift as well. And this month, for September, at the moment, I have an amazing mega tutorial bundle, and it's a Celebration mega tutorial bundle. So all of the projects in there are created using Celebration product. Now there are 39 tutorials there that have been designed by demonstrators from all around the world, including me. I've designed one as well. And all of these projects are exclusive to this tutorial. You won't see them anywhere else unless somebody has cased them. But yes, they are exclusive just to this tutorial, and that's the only way you can get your hands on them. So if you are a demonstrator, you can purchase that tutorial from me, whether or not you're here in Australia or overseas. I can actually sell that tutorial to overseas people as well, whether or not you're a demonstrator or a customer overseas. But demonstrators here in Australia can also purchase that from me. It's 30 Australian dollars if you'd like to purchase it from me. I posted about it here on my business page a few days ago. So if you just scroll back through my feed, you'll see it there probably about 3 or 4 days ago. I posted the most recent post about it, so you'll find it there. But yeah, if you just send me a message and let me know that you would like to purchase that, it's 30 Australian dollars. Otherwise, you can shop with me and you'll get it for absolutely free. And of course, my team get it absolutely free as well. They've already got their copy. I've already given it to them. So that's another perk of being part of my wonderful Stampin' Up community. My team is that these things, such as these big tutorial bundles that I participate in, they get them for free from me. So, oh, hi Rose, how you going? How's the weather down in Tassie today? We have got a beautiful day up here today. The weather is lovely. It's a little bit windy, but it's not really a cold wind. And it's really, really sunny. We were outside with the puppy and playing it with the hose. She loves playing with the water from the hose. And we were out there doing that earlier. So she got a little bit of a face wash, so that's always a good thing. Yeah. So hi Julie, hi Leslie. Great to have you all here. I am well, thank you Leslie. How are you? It's great to have you with us. So yeah, be sure to check out Celebration if you haven't already. There is a little sneak peek, as I was saying about my tutorial. You'll see in the promo for my the Celebration Mega tutorial, there's a promo image, so a little snapshot of some of the projects or parts of the projects to give you a little bit of a hint of what you might find or what you will find in the tutorial bundle. So the complete tutorial bundle is over 200 pages long. So what I do is I actually email you the link to that, and then you can download that and save that to your computer, because otherwise if I tried to email you the whole tutorial, it would blow out your email completely. So I send you the link and then you can download it, and that's the way that we do it. So yeah, so let me know if that is something that you would like to ask me about or get more information on. That would be awesome. Ah, great that you are well, Leslie. That's good to hear. Fantastic. All right. Also too, while we're talking about Celebration, let me just tell you that during Celebration, not only can you earn free products when you shop, but you can also get free products if you join Stampin' Up during Celebration. So I have a wonderful team of beautiful people, and it's great. We share a lot of creative fun together. We inspire each other. We have a wonderful team community. It's a very positive place, a very safe place, and there's beautiful friendships that have formed in our team. And so if you would like to come along and join us and join all of the perks of being a demonstrator, including getting 20% discount on all of your products, then consider joining Stampin' Up during Celebration. You can join anytime, of course, but during Celebration, you actually also get to choose a free bundle from the mini catalogue. So here they are. Here's the ones here that are available to choose for free. And I can give you more information on that if you're interested in joining my team during Celebration. And remember, you've only got till the 30th of September till Celebration finishes to get this free bundle, which you can add to your starter kit. So your starter kit, you choose $235 worth of product, but you're only going to pay $169 for it. Plus then you'll get that free bundle. Plus then, which you can choose which one you want. Plus then you will get free shipping on your on your starter kit, as well as that Stampin' Up will throw in about $80 value worth of catalogs and all different sorts of things like that. And then you'll be part of our beautiful community. You'll get to make new friends. You'll get the opportunity to have access to Stampin' Up products and new catalogs early, which is always a fantastic perk. We have demonstrator only events. In fact, we've got one coming up really soon, and the registration for that is ending in just a couple of days. And so if you would like to come and join us, some of my team members and I will be participating in that. It's an online event this year because of COVID. But it was online last year too, and it was fabulous. We had a great time. And yeah, and all the other benefits, including, don't forget, that amazing discount, which is always wonderful, having that discount on all of our crafting products. So be sure to ask me about joining my team. There is a join button on my blog. If you already know that you would like to join, if you've already made that decision, you can go straight to my blog and click on the joining link. There's my blog there. You can go there and click on my join link at the top of the page, and you can join straight away. Otherwise, feel free to get in contact with me and ask me any questions that you might have, and I'd love to help you. So to get in contact with me, you can either message me here from my Facebook page. If you're watching back on my YouTube, below my video, I will actually put all my contact links there so you can contact me. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, now let me just catch up on a few comments. I've been chatting away. Rose says, there's snow on the mountains down in Tassie. Ah, lovely. She can see it from her windows. That must be such a beautiful view every day to look out your windows and see the snow on the mountains. 5 minutes of sunshine, then rain and wind. Oh, so it's not such a chirpy day today down there, in weather terms, that is. Well, that's okay. We need the rain as well. Needs to water our earth, and without it, we couldn't survive, really, could we? So that's important. Hi, Diane. You're with us today. Fantastic. You're having some R&R while recovering by joining me today. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad that you're with us, and I hope that you do feel better really, really soon. Okay, also too, I wanted to let you know, while we're talking about catalogs, we do have our beautiful mini catalog as well, and we're going to be playing with some of the products from there today. I've got a beautiful card today to share with you from, oh, sorry, that was glaring a bit in my lights just then, reflecting all of that light. So yeah, so we're going to be looking at this today. Now, if you would like a paper copy of the mini catalog or of our annual catalog, then please let me know, and I'd love to send them out to you in the mail. As I said, I do have PDF versions on my blog, but I personally like to have the hard copy, the paper copy, because I love leafing through the pages, and every time I look through there, I find something else that I didn't see before. And the other good thing is too, in our catalogs, is that we've got all of the sample projects in there as well. I'm just trying to find one that I wanted to look at. These ones. Got all of the sample projects in there as well, which we can case, which is copy and selectively edit if we would like to, or use them as a starting point to be creatively inspired for our projects. There's so many. Actually, I wish I knew exactly how many projects there were in here, but look at them. So many beautiful projects in all of our catalogs. We have sample projects. So if you don't have the paper copies, some of those sample projects you can find on the website. When you look at the particular products, you can click on the little arrow and it will show you some of the projects. But I'm not sure that all of them are there. That is a question I should ask too, if all of the projects are there. But I like looking at them all, having them all in front of me in paper copy. So let me know if you'd like catalogs. I'm happy to send them out to you. Also too, at the moment, we have got a brand new Paper Pumpkin kit that has just been released globally. Usually Paper Pumpkin is only available in the North American market, but currently we have this gorgeous Expressions in Color paper pumpkin kit. I'm going to be playing with that. I just got mine in the post, in my order, sorry, last week, the end of last week, and I'm going to be playing with that. I can't remember if it's this Thursday or next Thursday. One of the Thursdays I'm going to be playing with this one. So I go live on Thursdays as well at 11 a.m. In the morning. That's Australian Eastern Time. We'll be switching over to daylight savings soon, in a few weeks, but not just yet. So yeah, so I'll be playing with that then as well, but it is beautiful. So check that out in my online store. Also too, we've got all of our kit collections as well. There's a whole heap of kits. We've got 11 now in this collection because now we've just had our Christmas Whimsy kit released as well, which I also just got that one too. So I'll be playing with that one in the next couple of weeks as well. So lots and lots of kits to choose, which are great for if you are new to stamping, if you just like quick and easy projects, or you prefer projects with instructions so you don't have to think about how to put together the project. They are great. And even the kits, you don't have to make them exactly like the instructions tell you either. You can change them up and make them your own. So feel free to do that too. So lots to check out. Jump over to my blog, jump over to my online store, have a look around and see what you can find over there. There's lots and lots of things to be inspired by. All right, so what we might do now is I might get ready to show you this project. So let me know if you have any questions as we're going along. If there's anything I can help you with, then feel free to let me know. I'll see your comments coming up on my iPad, and yeah, so just give me a shout out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I will cover up my camera and I'll flip my camera down and we'll get started straight away. All right, just bear with me for a moment. Okay, here we go. So I'll just adjust everything. It might be a little bit squeaky and noisy while I do that. Okay, my stand is just a little bit squeaky, and sometimes if I don't undo my clamps quite enough, oops, I think I haven't got that up high enough, there we go, then it sounds more squeaky than at other times. Right, okay, so let's see if we got that straight. Okay, and let me just adjust the lights down onto the desk. There we go. All right. Oh, I got that nice and straight today. Amazing. On Thursday I did that too. When I was filming on Thursday, I got it straight the first time. So maybe I'm getting better at it. Every time I adjust it, it always ends up in a different spot. So it's always a bit challenging to get it straight. All right. So as I was saying before, any of the products that you see me create with today, you'll be able to find in my online store at mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and you can click on the shop button at the top of the page, or you can go to mandywitherby.stampinup.net and there's a shop now button there as well. Remember to use my host code when you're shopping with me so that I can give you that wonderful tutorial for free this month. It is valued at $30, and for shopping with me this month, if you use my host code, I'll give it to you absolutely free. So yeah, so be sure to use my host code when you're shopping. All right, let me show you what we are going to be creating with today. We are going to be creating with the gorgeous Harvest Meadow Suite, and this is one of my favorites in the mini catalog. I think I've shown this one before, and I have done a couple of quick projects with this before, but today we're doing a much more detailed project, which is absolutely beautiful. So we've got beautiful sample projects here in the catalogue, so lots of creative inspiration. If you like all of the products in this Harvest Meadow suite, you can purchase all of them just by using one code, which you'll find down here on the bottom of page 54. Otherwise, you can purchase the products individually. I'll just take that sticky note off there for a moment. So we've got the stamp set and dies. If you are purchasing the stamp set, I do always recommend to purchase the coordinating dies as well. When you purchase them together, you will save yourself 10%. Rather than purchasing one of them now and one of them later and you'll pay full price, get them both together and save yourself 10%. We've got the beautiful time-worn 3D embossing folder. We've got some ribbon, some embellishments, beautiful cork paper. We're going to be playing with a little bit of that today, and the gorgeous designer series paper. Then on the bottom here, it shows you all of the colors that are in the designer series paper. So there's quite a range of beautiful colors there. So each one of those products can be purchased individually. And then if we flip over the page to page 56, it shows us here a larger view of the stamp set, which is in full size. That's the size of the stamps. And then down here you can see that you can purchase the dies as well as the bundle and save yourself 10%, or you can purchase the dies individually, separately on their own. Also too, we've got the little mini icon here, which tells us that these dies will fit through the Stampin' Cut and the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So if you only have the mini, these ones will fit through your mini machine. And here we've got 2 more samples here. Aren't they gorgeous? Just every one of the cards for this suite in this catalogue are absolutely gorgeous. So, all right, we've got some of the dies in there as well. Will coordinate with your sentiments, and you can see that by the shadowing around the sentiment in the catalogue. So you'll know that those dies will fit those sentiments. Okay, so that's what we are going to be. I'll put my sticky note back in there just in case we need to refer back to that again. So that's what we're going to be creating with today. And let me show you, I've got all of the products here in person so you can see them in real life. So there's our beautiful stamp set. This is a red rubber cling stamp set. And all the images on the front are actually shown at full size in this stamp set, which is great. They all fit on the cover there. Beautiful sentiments in here in beautiful fonts. And just, yeah, gorgeous stamp set. I really love this one. Here are the dies. So this is the Harvest dies. Oh, and I'm dropping them on the floor. We've got 2 sheets of dies here. So we've got 8 dies in this set, but they're quite large. So they're spread across 2 sheets. I haven't put mine onto magnetic sheets yet. I usually like to keep mine on magnetic sheets. Oh, hey, Glenda, I just saw that you jumped on. It is good to have you here. Thank you for being here. So we've got some dies that coordinate here with the stamped images and with our sentiments. And then we've got these additional dies as well, which we're going to be using some of these. Actually, we're going to be using a combination of them all. So I'll show you as we go through. Then we've got the beautiful time-worn type 3D embossing folder, and this one has an awesome design to it. We're going to use this as well. It's like a well, it is like time-worn text. It reminds me of an ancient scroll or something like that, or an ancient book that you find or something where the images are starting to the pages are starting to perish and you can just make out bits of the font. But yeah, it gives a really beautiful finish, this one. So I really love that. With the very pretty diamond weave ribbon. This is gorgeous. It's like a really thick, like a lace, but it's not really a lace, it's a ribbon. It's like a cotton. It feels like it's cotton. I'm not actually sure if it is cotton. It feels like cotton ribbon. And it's really beautiful. Very vintage. Got a real vintage feel to it. We've got the beautiful brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Now this isn't a full packet because I've used some of these already. And so, yeah, normally you would get a total of 90 in the packet. But as you see, I've already used some of those and I've actually chopped some off there too. The cork paper, let me show you this beautiful cork paper. I'll move all of this over to the side first and then I'll show you that beautiful cork paper. So the beautiful cork paper, this is the one I've cut into. So you can see I've chopped a bit of a wedge out of there. That's where we're going to be using it from today. But you get 2 sheets of 12 by 12 inches of this beautiful cork paper, and it is actually cork on the surface, and the back is like a craft paper, but it's quite thin. It's like really, really fine shavings of cork. That's what I was looking at it really closely today, thinking, I wonder how they made this paper. But it looks like it's really fine shavings of cork that have been adhered to craft paper. But it is beautiful to work with. It feels like cork on this side. It feels like paper on the other side. But you can punch with this, die cut with this, all sorts of things. And it's really, really beautiful. So we're going to be playing with some of that. And then, of course, we've got our gorgeous designer series paper. Now, you will see from my packet that I have used a lot of this already. I've still got quite a bit in here, but I have chopped into a lot of it because my daughter, Amber, and I, who share this crafting space, we both love this paper so much that we have used it a lot on a lot of our projects. So here are some of the different patterns in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, some of these are, hang on, let me pull these out. So I'm showing you some of the fronts and some of the backs. Let me just see what I've got. What have I done here? I've got, oh yeah, okay, so that's the back of that one. And that's the back of that one. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's break up these 2 yellow ones. It's a bit hard to see yellow on yellow, isn't it? There you go. Well, I think it's actually, what color was that? I think it was, is it crushed curry or bumblebee? Bumblebee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so that's the front side. And then if we turn them over, that's the reverse sides of the paper. Aren't they beautiful? So pretty. So we've got neutrals, and then we've got some strong colors in there. We've got some beautiful font. I love anything that has script or font on it. So there you go. So that's the designer series paper, and you get a total of 12 sheets. So you get 2 of each double-sided sheet in the pack. All right, so we'll pop those over to the side. I won't try and get them back into the packet right now, although I do need to slip this in. Oh, and it's not going to go. Okay, we'll leave that for later. That's okay. All right, so let me show you the project that we're going to be creating today. We are going to be creating this beautiful card today. And this one I shared on my mini catalogue and celebration. So if you came along to that a few weeks ago, then you would recognize this card. This is one of the ones that I highlighted during my, what it was actually my catalogue launch. And so that's what we're going to be making today. So I hope that you will enjoy watching as I create this one. Hi Deborah, how you going? Great to have you here today. So feel free to craft along with me. I hope you've got your cuppa with you ready, or if you would like to just sit back, relax and watch what I'm making, then feel free to do that as well. All right, so I'm going to be using a few Stampin' Blends as well to, I'm just going to make a bit of noise while I bring them in, to colour in my sunflowers here. So I'll let you know now what colours I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the bronze and the ivory, and then I'm using the soft succulent in the light and the dark, and I'm using Mango Melody in the light and the dark. Okay, so just the two colors in the light and dark, because when you purchase the Stampin' Blends, they come in a combo of the light and dark. And so, yeah, and so that's an easy way to remember. You just purchase the one color and you'll get the 2 pens. And then that way you can add your highlighting and shading and all sorts of things. So these are alcohol-based markers. So they dry really quickly and you get a beautiful blended finish. The colors will blend, the light and dark will blend, and they just give you a really beautiful soft finish when you're coloring. I love using them. They're just my favorite coloring tools now. So we're going to be using those. We're also going to just be using one ink pad today, which is Early Espresso. And I'm going to be using a sponge dauber as well, just for my sentiment label. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using today. If you are looking for the Stampin' Blends, I thought that I would just highlight that quickly for you today, because sometimes people aren't sure where to find them in the catalogue. So if you take your annual catalogue and you look on pages 122 and 123, you've got all of the Stampin' Up! Colour range there. Okay, so under the colour range there, you will find A4 cardstock, the Stampin' Blends, there they are there. Oh, sorry, the Stampin' Pads, the classic Stampin' Pads, the classic Stampin' ink refills, and then you've got the Stampin' Blends combo pack. And as I said, the combo pack is the light and the dark coming together in the pack. So that's where you can find them. Most of the colours in the colour range have a Stampin' Blend. There's a few that don't, and so you'll see them here. They have a little blank space here where we don't have Stampin' Blends for those particular colours at this stage. Okay, but the majority of the colours they do have. Yeah. And we also too have a colour lifter, which is, I'm actually having a look to see, oh, here it is here, the colour lifter, which helps that if you make any boo-boos with your colouring, it goes outside of the line or something like that, or you want to lighten your colour, you can use the colour lifter, and that will actually act kind of like an eraser, but it's not really erasing the colour, it's shifting the colour. So yeah, but that's a colouring technique for another day. And the bronze and the ivory are over here together. Bronze and ivory come together as two markers, as kind of like a combo, but the colour lifter is a single marker that you purchase on its own, and all the other ones are as combos. All right, so that's where you can find those. Okay. Right, now let me give you all of the things that we need for this card today. So I have got everything pre-prepared. There's a couple of extra little steps that we will do today together, but I have pre-cut everything to make it a little bit quicker. All right, so if you would like to recreate this card, let me give you all the measurements. So take out your pen and get ready to write down some measurements. So we have got a piece of Evening Evergreen, which is half of an A4 sheet. All of my measurements will be in metric measurements for A4, which is for Australia and Europe. I think Canada and America use imperial measurements. So your measurements will be a little bit different. So our card base measures 21 centimetres by 14.85, and we've just scored and folded that in the middle at 10.5 centimetres. That's our card base. This Evening Evergreen is quite a strong cardstock. It's very thick, so you might need to use your bone folder a few times on your folded edge just to help that to sit down a little bit, and it still might pop up a tiny bit, but that's okay, because when somebody's displaying the card, they're going to sit it up anyway, so it's all good. Then we've got a piece of our beautiful Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper that I just highlighted with you, and we're using this bumblebee colour, which has got some plants printed on it. The other side has got that beautiful script in the soft succulent. Okay, so that's the piece that we're using. This one measures 10.1 centimetres by 14.45 centimetres. We've then got a strip of Evening Evergreen, or a layer of Evening Evergreen. This one is 6.8 centimetres by 13.3 centimetres. Our basic white piece, which I did already go ahead and emboss with our beautiful time-worn type embossing folder. This one measures 6.5 by 13 centimetres. And then we go down to our copper foil. So if you don't already have some of our foil cardstock, it is gorgeous, and the copper foil just goes so beautifully with this suite. So this piece of copper foil, and you can see I've cheated, I've already die cut mine, but you will need 4 centimetres by 14 centimetres to die cut the wheat, so I went ahead and die cut that with the wheat, which is this one here. Okay, so I went ahead and did that ahead of time, so we'll pop that out a little bit later. And then we have some crumb cake, and you'll see I've pre-die cut that one as well. I did a few extra steps just to save a bit of time today. So we've got crumb cake, which is 5.5 centimeters by 12 centimeters, and I've die cut this one here from the crumb cake, so that's that one there. Okay. Then we have our piece of basic white. This is the one that we're going to stamp our sunflowers onto, so our beautiful big sunflowers. And this one measures 7 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters. And we're going to stamp that, and then we're going to die cut that together because it's much easier to die cut it once we've colored it. Okay, so we will do that one together. Then we have got a little piece of cork, and this is all that we need of the cork today, and this is for underneath the sentiment label. So this piece is 5.6 by 2.8 centimeters. And then we've got some labels. So I have die cut some extra labels. You only need one, but I die cut a couple of extras just in case I don't stamp my sentiment straight the first time. I've got 2 more chances. So to be able to stamp one of your sentiment labels, you can just use a scrap of basic white, or you can use a piece that is 5.5 centimeters long by 3 centimeters wide. Our diamond weave ribbon is 20 centimeters. And then we're going to need 3 of the brushed metallic dots, okay, which are adhesive backed, which is always awesome to have adhesive backed embellishments. Okay, they are all the pieces that we need. So let's go ahead and start, and we will start with our stamping. So we'll get all of these bits ready to do our stamping, and we'll pop everything else over to the side for the moment. There we go. Okay. Right. I'll pop my card over to the side as well. We'll get that out of the way. All right. I'm going to bring in a little bit of grid paper just to protect my desktop. There we go. And we'll stamp our sentiment first, I think. All right, so taking our early espresso. Hi, Jenny, how you going? Great to have you here. That's okay that you're a little bit late. We're just starting with the project. I just gave all of the measurements for all of the pieces. I'm not sure if you saw that, but if not, feel free to rewind later on if you want all of those measurements for our project today. Okay, so I meant not rewind. Replay. You can replay after we're finished if you want to get all of those measurements. All right, so I'm going to use the thank you stamp. So today we're just using 2 stamps from the stamp set. We're going to use the sentiment thank you, and we're going to use the big sunflower stamps. Okay, they're the only ones that we're going to use today. So I've got my thank you already mounted up on my block. I'm going to tap, tap, tap on my early espresso. I'm using the grid on my grid paper to make sure my sentiment label is straight. And let's see if I can get this stamped in the middle. See if I got it straight. Oh, yay, I got it straight first go. There we go. I don't need the spare labels. I can save them for another project. Okay, I'll just stamp that off. And then we'll give that a clean on my chamois. So I bought myself a couple of new chamois the other day. This is one of them, and look how inky it's getting already. I used it for the first time last week, and it's already getting really inky. But that's okay. I gave it a good rinse out before I started today, so I know that it's not holding any excess ink, but they do get a bit stained, but it doesn't matter. They still clean perfectly well, so long as you rinse them out every few days, depending how often you're using them. So while we've got our sentiment label there, let's dauber around the edges. I'm taking my early espresso dauber, or my dauber with early espresso ink. And I just am going to run that along the edges just to distress that a little bit. This is my favorite coloring technique, distressing. I think this is kind of my signature. I do it on a lot of my projects. There we go. So we've got our sentiment label ready to go. All right, so we'll pop that over to the side and give that a chance to dry. And then we'll come in with our beautiful sunflowers, and we'll ink that up. I'm just going to, because this is a large stamp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the stamp over face up, and I'm going to take my ink pad to the stamp and just tap, tap, tap. Not pushing it into the stamp because I don't want to get extra ink around the edges of the stamp. Just tap, tap, tapping. And I know that my ink pad is very inky because I just re-inked it last week. I had to re-ink a few of them actually. I had a few that had dried out that I hadn't used for a while, or perhaps I'd overused them. All right, give a firm press, and there we go. There we've got our beautiful sunflowers. All right, so we'll close that up. Actually, are they sunflowers or are they wildflowers? I don't know. What do you all think? Tell me if you think they look like sunflowers or just wildflowers. I'm not sure which they are. Jenny says, snow on the mountains today. Sun is out now for a little while. Only 15 degrees down in Tassie. Oh, chilly. Yes, Rose was telling us that there's snow on the mountains today too. It must look absolutely beautiful. It's good that the sun's out now too, because Rose was saying that it was raining a little bit earlier. All right, so we'll clean our beautiful stamps. So what do you think? Do you think these look like sunflowers, or do you think they look like wildflowers? You know what they remind me of? They remind me of all of the wildflowers that I used to see when I would drive down to, drive with my husband down to Mildura, down in the Victorian country, to see my mum. And along the road, depending on which season you were going in, along the side of the road you would always see beautiful wildflowers. Even down on the Hay Plains, where, so those of you that live in New South Wales or Victoria, or perhaps even South Australia, may know of the Hay Plains. The Hay Plains is, for anyone who is not from around here, or perhaps you're watching from overseas, the Hay Plains are, oh, how would you describe them? Everyone help me. Oh, these are cone flowers, are they, Rose? Oh, thank you so much. I didn't know that. Cone flowers. Okay, there you go. Well, I hope that I'm colouring them in the right colours then. I'll have to Google cone flowers. So I'm using a little bit of, I'll tell you more about the Hay Plains in a moment. I'm using a little bit of my bronze Stampin' Blend just at the base of the centres of the flowers here, for a little bit of texture and shadow. So the Hay Plains, it basically are plains, they're fields that just go and go and go, and there's not really much there except a lot of tumbleweed and other weeds, and it's really, really flat. And every so often you'll get a little, and the road is like super, super straight for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. It goes for, you drive along the Hay Plains for hours. And then every so often there'll be a bit of a bend in the road. And I'm sure they put the bend in the road just to keep people awake so they didn't fall asleep. There has been a lot of accidents on the Hay Plains because people just zone out and fall asleep behind the wheel. So you have to be really careful when you're driving there. So I'm just using a little bit of the ivory now. There we go. So really super easy. Deborah said she thinks they look like echinacea flowers or cone flowers. Oh, there you go. Rose said cone flowers too. I'd never heard of a cone flower actually. Orange center and pink mauve petals. Oh, really? Pinky mauve petals. Oh, okay. Rose said echinacea too. Maybe they are. And Glenda said, I think they are cornflowers or a type of daisy. Cornflowers or cone flowers? We've got cone flowers from Rose and Deborah, cornflowers from Glenda, and possible echinacea as well from the other side, or a type of daisy. Yeah, red gold, coral, and tangerine. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to Google all of this when I finish. Well, mine today are yellow. Well, actually, they're not yellow. They're Mango Melody. But I'm going to have to Google afterwards to see what color, what type of flower this actually is, and see what color I should be coloring them in. Because I don't even know if my coloring is going to be the right colors now. But that's okay. Oh, I might actually use my bullet tip. Oh, they can be whatever I want. Oh, thanks, Deborah. That's good to know. Awesome. So I'm going to add in a little bit of highlight and shadow here on the petals. So we want a little bit of darkness in there. And I'm just going to do 2 flowers to begin with. Because when you're using Stampin' Blends, because the alcohol does dry quite quickly, and we want to be blending those colors, you want the color that you laid down first to still be a little bit wet when you lay down your second color. It'll help it to blend much more smoothly. So if you haven't used Stampin' Blends before, then that's a good way to know that you will get a good blended color, is to make sure that you're I'm going to have to replace this one soon. The brush tip is getting a little bit fuzzy. Just change over to my bullet tip for a minute. Yeah, that's how you'll know that you're going to get a nice, beautiful blended finish, is still having that ink wet. Because once that ink dries, it's a bit harder then to re-moisten it to get it to blend out nicely. There we go. Okay. It would be really good, wouldn't it, if whenever we get these floral stamps, that Stampin' Up! Told us on the cover, or maybe inside the cover, what type of flower they are. Maybe I should suggest that to Stampin' Up!, that we need to know what types of flowers we're colouring, so we make sure that we are colouring them the right colours, hey? I did know the colours of one of the ones that we had. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but one of the we had it demonstrated to us, and they told us what the names of the flowers were. And so that was, oh, the seed pods. That's right, that was the seed pods one. That was really helpful, knowing which ones they were. Anyway, yeah, these just remind me of some of the wildflowers that you see alongside of the road out in the country. And yeah, I do miss going. I'm changing over now to my soft succulent. So I'll do a little bit of highlighting first with the dark on the leaves, on the veins of the leaves. Yeah, I miss our drives out there in the country. However, it's very long. It would be it's a 10-hour straight drive to Mildura from Sydney, or Western Sydney, where I live. And, you know, then if you take into account stops as well, because you need to stop and rest along the way and use the bathroom and get food and all of those things, it can take 11 or 12 hours to get there, depending on how many stops you make. So, yeah, it's quite a distance, but it's a lovely drive. Just the Hay Plain part of it is a bit boring, but the rest of it is, oh, but it's really cool. Out on the Hay Plains, you often see emus. And occasionally kangaroos, not so much the kangaroos because it's pretty dry out there for the kangaroos, but you often see emus, wild emus out there. So that's always fun, just looking for the emus and seeing if you can spot the emus. Okay, so we'll just keep colouring these leaves while that ink is wet to get that shading in there. And then I'm going to switch over to the bullet tip now. Oh, thanks, Rose. Rose said whatever I do will be great. Cornflowers are blue. Oh, okay, Deborah, thank you. Rose said cornflowers are actually different. They look different. Okay, cool. Awesome. Amber said, in that case, none of the real colours coordinate with the papers in the suite. Oh, true. Yeah, it will depend on what colours. Well, actually, yes, because I guess that Stampin' Up! Would have teamed up the colours in the designer series paper to match the colours of the flowers. So that'll be interesting when we research that to see what colours they actually are. Because yes, the designer series paper should match them. So yeah, oh well, we'll all have to have a little look, won't we? I was just double checking then that I had picked up the light one. So using the bullet tip to just finish off the stems there. There we go. Some of this is going to get covered up with our sentiment label anyway. So there we go. Great. Good. That is all of our colouring done. So that was really easy, just using those 3 sets of colours. Really, really easy. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine now and we'll just die cut that. I've got my, I can grab my mini actually. It'll be easier to put up on the desk. Just a moment, I'll grab that. I was using my large machine earlier and so that was closest to me, but my mini machine wasn't too far away. Glenda said all the wildflowers in WA are beautiful too. Oh, are they cool? I've only been to I've made 2 very quick trips to WA and don't remember seeing any wildflowers on those trips when I was there, but possibly I did and I've just forgotten. But that's nice to know too. Jenny said they remind her of the paper flowers. Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to use the die that coordinates with this stamp set. Oh, I forgot to grab my washi tape. Oh, no, I've got some over here on my large machine, so that's okay. So I like to use washi tape to hold my dies in place. You can use Post-it notes, just something that's easily removed that's not going to tear your cardstock when you remove it. That one there, and pop one up here as well. Just trying to avoid putting it onto my stamped image so that I don't have any accidental tears. This washi tape is usually pretty good. It usually comes off fairly well, but I just don't want to take any chances. So there we go. All right, and then we'll put our little top plate on. Now, if you haven't seen a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine before, this is our mini. We also have a large machine. This one has a narrower feeding mouth, whoops. So it fits the majority of our dies, but not all of our dies. Some of the larger shapes, like the large rectangles and things like that, won't fit through. But it does fit a lot of the smaller dies like this, and also to some of the larger embossing folders don't fit through, but there are other embossing folders that have been made specifically for this one that do fit. So, but it's a really handy little machine. Doesn't take up much space, and great for taking to your crops or classes, or if you travel. Not that us here in New South Wales can travel, or much in Australia really can travel right now, but we will at one point. We'll be able to get back to our travel. All right, so move that over out of the way. So there we go, we've got our beautiful flowers. I'll just pop my die straight back onto my die sheet so that I don't lose that. There we go. Okay. All right. Oh, how did that end up down there? I must have knocked that when I moved my Stampin' Blends. All right, I think we've got all of our bits ready to go now. We can start putting everything together. So what I'll do, actually I'll take that away. Oh, there's my sentiment label. I nearly forgot about that. So with these ones that I die cut earlier, as I showed you when I was going through all of the measurements, I'll pop them out of the cardstock now. I just left them in there to show you the size of the cardstock that you'd need to die cut them from. There we go. So we've got some more beautiful wild flowers, or some sort of flowers there. I'm not sure what they are. And this one is actually wheat. So I know what this one is. They look great in copper. Not that you find them in copper in the wild or in nature, but for today, they're going to be copper. All right, so there's all of our pieces. Now we're going to do a little bit of distressing first before we put everything together. We're going to distress our embossed white piece, and we're going to distress our designer series paper. So before we put everything together, I'm going to show you how to do that. So we'll just take those bits out. I nearly forgot to do the distressing. You don't have to do the distressing part, but it does go really well with this particular project. So I'll show you how to do that. Stampin' Up! Used to sell distressing tools, but we don't have any distressing tools available at the moment. There are other distressing tools that are available out on the market, but you can just use your scissor blades. You just have to be careful about how you hold your scissor blades. So I tend to hold them, I open them up like that and tend to hold them there in the middle, okay, with my holding the handle sort of in the palm of my hand like that. Just hold them however they feel comfortable to you. And then we're just going to use the blade of the scissors to roughen up the edges of our paper. So I've got a piece of paper underneath me to catch any fibers, because there will be some fibers that will come off this as you do it. Now it doesn't matter if it tears a little bit here and there, because that just adds to the distressed look. I'm repositioning my hands just to support the paper as I do that, because we don't want any huge big tears across the whole width of the paper. There we go. So we're just going to do that on each side. Feel free to chat while I'm crafting. Is anyone else crafting today with me? Let me know if you are crafting or if you are just watching. There we go. You'll find that depending on the grain in the paper, you might find that one side will distress easier than the other, and it all depends on which way the grain is going in the paper when they've created it. It's a little bit noisy, isn't it? I'm sorry about that. Just get a little bit more distressing happening down here in the corner. There we go, that's better. And one last edge to do. So the paper, being that it's a little bit thinner, you just have to be a bit more careful holding it as you're distressing it, because it is a bit thinner, whereas the cardstock, of course, is a bit thicker, so it's a bit easier to hold it when you're distressing. There we go. So the vintage style and shabby chic styles are my favorite styles. This is more of a vintage style rather than shabby chic, but it is my favorite style, and it's one that I go back to time and time again because it is my favorite style. I do create cards in a lot of different styles just to show the versatility of our products, and you know, there's a lot of other crafters out there that prefer different styles, and so I like to show different styles to everybody. But yeah, vintage is really my favorite. So there we go. So we can see now how those edges are nicely roughened up. You can roughen them up even a bit more than that if you want to. You can add a bit of ink around the edges. I'm not going to do that on this one today, but often when I'm doing these types of distressing projects, I'll add ink around the edges as well with a dauber. But that's that one done. And now this piece I already embossed with the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. I always have to look at the name when I go to say that one. It's a mouthful. So I already ran that through my large embossing machine. Okay, I did that ahead of time just to save a bit of time. And so now we're just going to distress the edges of that. So when you run the cardstock through the embossing folders, it does break down the fibers in your cardstock a little bit, so it will soften it up a bit from its natural form. So again, you can see I'm just moving my fingers. I'm kind of supporting the cardstock, being careful not to cut my fingers with the scissors. Just supporting the cardstock from behind as well, so that we don't get any huge big tears. See, I got a little tear just there? That's okay. But we don't want any huge tears right across the cardstock. And it tends to, with this this actual embossing folder, the scissors tend to grip a little bit on the embossed design of it too. So this edge I think should be a bit quicker and easier. Yep. And back up the last side. So has anybody else tried this before? Julie said, yes, I'm doing some colouring with blends. Oh, yay, very good. She's colouring the prize peony flower. Oh, beautiful. I look forward to seeing what you make, Julie. Very good. We did have, in my technique club, some of you may know about my technique club, we did have 1 month where we focused on Stampin' Blends, and I did a whole tutorial on using Stampin' Blends. And so, yeah, and so it was showing everybody how different ways of using them. There we go. So now we've finished that bit, and you can see it is a little bit messy, so it's good to have something underneath you to catch all of those paper fibers. We'll get rid of that. Okay, there we go. All right, one thing I didn't mention, which I just realized that I didn't mention, when you are using your Stampin' Blends, it's always good to have something underneath you, underneath the piece that you are coloring, because they do bleed through the cardstock. So let's turn that over. You'll see a little bit of bleeding through the cardstock there. Not so much today, but if you're laying color upon color or using the Stampin', color lifter, you will get more bleeding of the colors coming through. And so you want to protect your desk or your work surface. So always make sure you have something down, scrap paper or grid paper or whatever you have. All right, so now we are ready to put all of our pieces together. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we will add our designer series paper to our card front, and I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal to do that. So let's just shuffle over this way a little bit. There we go. So I've got everything in camera. All right, so just adding a little bit of adhesive to this one. There we go. Oh, it's stuck to my fingers. I always do that. As you can tell, it's a really good strong adhesive. All right, so we're just going to add that. Oh, just checking that our flowers are up the right way, because this paper is actually directional. It has got that same flower in the design there. So we want to make sure that we've got that up the right way. Okay, so there we go. Right, now we'll adhere, whoops, these two layers together. All right, so I'll just do the same thing again. Well, actually this time I might use Stampin' Seal Plus, because we are applying adhesive to an embossed surface, so therefore we don't have as much surface area. So you want to make sure that you use a strong adhesive that is going to hold really well. There we go. We'll add that onto. Now with this one too, the type, check to see that your type is up, or your script is up the right way, because once before I did this and I didn't check and I stuck it up the wrong way. Not that it was that obvious, but I could tell. Yes, I've got it up the right way this time. There are some words you can make out here and there, so you can see if it's actually up the right way or not. There we go. All right, now this piece is going to get popped up onto Dimensionals. So I've got some Stampin' Dimensionals here. Stampin' Dimensionals, if you're not familiar with them, are our 3D foam. So it gives you dimension and depth to your projects. And I love to use these. I think there's very few projects that I create that don't have Stampin Dimensionals. There we go. All right, so we'll just remove the backing. They are double-sided adhesive, and they come with this paper backing on them to protect the adhesive. So you just need to remove that. There we go. Now we're going to pop it over on the right-hand side. Make sure I'm doing that up the right way. Yep. On the right-hand side with an even border at the side and the top and the bottom. About there. I'm just using my eye. I'm not measuring that super precisely. There we go. All right, so now we need to layer up all of our other pieces. So we're going to have our wheat. We'll lay them on first to just double check where we want to have everything. So we're going to have our wheat and our, whatever that is, I'm just going to call that wildflowers because I'm not sure what they're called. We'll have those there. Okay, and then this one is going to get mounted up on top of those. So these two are going to be adhered flat. So we'll adhere those first. And I'm just going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue this time, using lots of different adhesives today, which is good. It shows you how you can use your different adhesives. So I think I'll put down the wheat first. So yeah, this copper foil, as I was saying earlier, oh, my glue is oozing. I don't want it to ooze right now. This copper foil cardstock is absolutely beautiful. If you don't have any, pop some in your next order because it's really, really beautiful. But a little tip, if you are die cutting with it, make sure you've got a clean plate, like a not too chopped up plate, because it can mark as well from your, and just cut your foil to the size that you need it for your die. Don't cut into a whole big piece of foil because it will mark as it goes through the embossing machine, and then you won't be able to use the other pieces because they'll be, you know, they'll look yucky. So just make sure that you just cut what you need to use. All right, so there we go. I might have added glue a little bit far up, a bit too high up on those pieces. I wanted them to sit up a little bit. I just realized I added glue right to the end, I think. Did I? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't. There we go. Okay, so give that a bit of a firm press there. Good. All right, and then we'll turn this piece over upside down. Glenda said, not for a while, but I like doing it. Awesome. Jenny said, lovely card, love the embossing folder. It's beautiful, isn't it, Jenny? Yeah, I love a good embossing folder. This one is particularly great. It gives a really beautiful finished effect to your project. Okay, we're going to put these ones down here and just have them overlapping a little bit, like so. And these ones are just going to hang off just a little bit, just a fraction. So we'll lift that up so that's sitting up a little bit. Add a little bit more dimension to our card. There you go. Okay, good. Just help these ones to stand up a little bit too. There we go. Great. All right, now with this one is going to be mounted on dimensionals. So we're going to need dimensional pieces of all different sorts of sizes, but that's okay because I have got in here somewhere, or did I use them all up? Oh, I must have used them all up. I had a whole heap of little pieces. I've still got some here. I had a whole heap of little pieces of the edge pieces all chopped up that I could use on smaller pieces, which were really useful. Actually, I'll use these edge pieces here and I'll cut these as well. And we'll use some of those because the stems are a little bit more narrow, so we need smaller pieces of dimensional for those. And this is where these little edge pieces come in really, really handy. There we go. Okay. So that one cut there? Oh yeah, there we go. So pop that one at the top there. Oh, we can use that piece too. Let's use that there. Okay, we'll use some of these bits over here. Just use up all of your little bits and pieces. That one's a little bit too big actually. Let's try this one. There we go. Yeah, make sure you don't ever waste any of your pieces, because they come in really handy for all these little unusual shapes. There we go. And we might need some narrower pieces for in there. So let's get some, actually, you know what? I might grab some of my minis too. Yeah, I've got some little minis here. Let's use some of those. So if you don't have minis, you can just cut down your larger dimensionals to the size that you need. But I'm using a bit of a combo of all of them at the moment. One on the leaf here. And up here. Okay, and then for these stems here, I'll use some of these little tiny edge pieces to just put along the stem, just to give it plenty of support so that it's not going to be saggy baggy. We don't want any saggy baggy bits. There we go. Oh, there's another one there. Actually, I could use that one just there. There we go. Oh, and one more down the bottom. There we go. Oops, that one stuck to my finger. Okay, there we go. So we've got all the dimensionals on there. Okay, be very frugal with it. Oh, hang on, I've missed some comments in between that. Oh, Deborah said she thinks that one is a thistle flower. This one? It could be too. It's very pretty, whatever it is. We have, just having a look to see, do we have a stamp that coordinates with that one? No, we don't. That's just a die on its own. A thistle flower. Ah, okay. Beautiful. Deborah knows her flowers, don't you, Deborah? So Deborah's always a good one to ask what types of flowers they are. She usually knows all of her flowers. There we go. And I love that because I don't. I don't know what they are. My mum was really good at knowing all of her flowers because she used to be very interested in floristry, although she wasn't a trained florist. But she used to do a lot of flower arranging. And she was really good with all of her flowers, but I kind of didn't inherit that part. I guess when I was younger, it wasn't something I was interested in. I'm more interested now as an adult than I was when I was younger. There we go. So we're going to pop them over the top there like that. Great. Now we want to pop our ribbon on. So I'm just going to loop my ribbon and I'm going to adhere it across my card like that. And then we'll trim up the ends. So I'm going to use some glue dots for that. Another different adhesive, because glue dots are fantastic for ribbons. And if you've watched my lives before, you'll know that I always use glue dots for my ribbons. All right, there we go. Be very frugal with it. What was I being frugal with? Oh, the copper foil cardstock. Is that what you were referring to, Glenda? Yes. Yes. It's beautiful though. I love working with it. So I've got to work out first of all where I would like to have my ribbon. I think I need to have it up about here because I want to leave some space down here to have my embellishments. So I'm going to pop my ribbon down here. The copper foil, yes. Yes. That's what I thought you were referring to, Glenda. Yeah, you only need a little bit. You only use sort of what you need to use with it, hey? And the rest leave intact because otherwise it can get marked really easily. It does. That's the thing with copper foil, you do have to be careful. And I think Jenny mentioned that the other day too, when I was, can't remember which one it was on, Jenny, and I was creating something using foil. And you mentioned about it marking really easily. It does, yes. You have to be really careful with how you handle it, that you don't scratch it and things like that. But it's worth the effort because it gives you such a beautiful effect. There we go. All right, so we'll trim up the ends on our ribbon. Oh, I picked up my blunt scissors. Hang on a minute. Let me pick up my sharp scissors. That's better. I was thinking, why isn't that cutting? There we go. So we'll just trim the ends there of our beautiful ribbon. And now what we'll do, the next step is we're going to pop our tag or our label onto our cork. So I'm just going to use a bit of, I'll just use, what have I got? Stampin' Seal Plus. That's the first one I picked up. I'll attach that one. I'm just going to pop that down in the center there. Is that in the center? Not quite. See if I can wriggle that up before that adhesive grabs. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we'll attach that. Now, this is probably going to be the trickiest part because we've got lots of different texture here that we're applying our sentiment label to. So some of this is going to be sitting down flat onto the ribbon, but some of it is going to need to be popped up on dimensionals because this cork is very soft, and so it will need to be just supported a little bit on the corners there. So I might pop some dimensionals just under the corners there, and I think this end should be right to just pop down straight. So what I might do is put a little bit of Stampin' Seal down the middle. There we go, and I'll pop a little dimensional under each corner there. Ooh, which corner was it? Yeah, those two. Good to check which corner you need your dimensionals. So I don't pop them on the wrong corner. So hopefully that should be in about the right spot. All right, so we'll remove those two. Okay. All right, and just going to pop that down about here. I'm going to have it overlapping a little bit actually. Oh, so you know what? I'm going to need to add 2 layers of dimensional because we've already got some layers happening here. So I'll actually add an extra layer of dimensional on top of that. I forgot about that. I was going to put it down right in the middle, and then I looked at my my sample card and realized, hang on a minute, I had that over further. Yep, okay. And so I might put another dimensional. Oh, I wonder if that's going to sit. Let's see. Let's see how that's going to sit. I might just pop one under there as well. Just a single one under there. And let's pop one down there too. Just for a little bit of added support. I don't want it to be saggy. As you probably keep on hearing me say that. I don't like to have any saggy bits on my cards. I like them to be, everything to be nice and supported. There we go. So we're just going to have that just going off the edge of the card like that. A little bit there like that. There we go. Beautiful. And now what we need to do is we just need to add our bling. So let's bring that in. Move all of that over to the side. I love these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. It's a big mouthful, isn't it? Brushed metallic adhesive back dots. I just call them metallic dots. But yeah, I love these. They're beautiful. Okay, so we're going to add a large copper one down here in the corner. And then we'll get a small one and add that just above that one. And then we'll put another small one up in the top corner up here in the copper, and then that matches it, that blends in beautifully, or not blends in, but coordinates beautifully with our foil wheat there as well. there we go. So there is our finished card, and that's not adhering. Why is that not adhering? Oh, because the ribbon is, it's sitting onto the ribbon. Oh, that's okay. You could slip a little glue dot underneath the ribbon. That's actually going to support it okay anyway. But I do want that ribbon to sit up a bit off the base, so that actually works okay. If you wanted to, you could put a little glue dot under there, under the ribbon, to make that sit completely flat. But I do like that that sits up, and that's actually supported quite well. So there we go. So there is our project today. I have coloured my the tops of my flowers. They're a little bit darker than my original one. But that's okay. I actually think I've stamped it a bit darker too. Oh, you know why? Because when we originally made this one, that was before I re-inked my stamp pad, and I just re-inked my stamp pad last week, and so that's why this one's come out a little bit darker looking, but that's okay. They both look a tiny bit different. So there you go. What do you think? Do you like that? Glenda says beautiful card. Thanks, Glenda. It's really lovely. I love working with these products. We've used on this card everything from the suite. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure we got everything from the suite. Let's see. We got the stamp set, the dies, the embossing folder, the ribbon, the embellishments, the cork, and the designer series paper. We did. We used everything from the suite. So how cool is that? All right. Let me put the camera back up to my face so I can say goodbye to you all. Let me just do that, so just bear with me for a moment. Okay, here we go. I'll do a little flippity flip. Oh, squeaky squeaky. Okay, get that all set up. There we go. Okay. Oh, I'm up in the air today. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. So what do you think? Do you like it? It's pretty, isn't it? All those beautiful, and that texture. Do you like distressing? Let me know. Do you like those distressing techniques? I'd love to know if you like that, or if you prefer plain and like clean and simple. I think they call it clean and simple. I like a bit of distressing. I like a bit of mess. Distressing and inking, that's my favorite thing. So yeah. Rose says love it. Leslie says lovely card, Mandy, have a great evening. Thanks, Leslie. You too. Julie says pretty card. Deborah says love the color palette and textures of this card. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I do too. Love a good bit of texture on any project. Deborah says beautiful card. Leslie says love distressing. She loves distressing too. Yeah. Yeah. My shirt matches the card. It does too. You know what? I didn't even plan that. I did not even think about that. Look at that. It does too. That's cool. That was an unplanned happy accident, let's just say. Thanks for pointing that out, Deborah. I hadn't even thought of that. Well, it was great to have you all with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. If there is anything that I can do to help you, or you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. Oh, Julie said she was just about to say the same about my shirt too. Oh, there you go. Everyone else realized it except me, who is actually wearing the shirt. All right. So, also too, just to let you know, I have another class coming up too, which I will be advertising tonight. We are going to be playing with the, let me just think what it's called. I should know this off the top of my head because I have used it many times and I just can't think of it. Sweet Stocking Suite. The Sweet Stocking Suite. So, I'm going to be holding a class using the Sweet Stocking Suite, and it is going to be advertised tonight. The class will be on the second Saturday of October, which is the 9th of October. That will be the class date. So I'll be advertising that. So if you would like to create some wonderful projects using that suite, then look out for that class. That'll be uploaded really soon. So that's the next thing on my list for today, is to get that ready to advertise. So watch out for that. I'd love to have you come along to my class. We've just had we've got Technique Club coming up this coming weekend. This weekend we are doing the stamp kissing technique. So that will be, all the kits have gone out to all my class participants for this month. And I've recorded the class. I just have to write the PDF, and then we're all good to go for next Saturday. And that is an online class. So all of my classes at the moment are pre-recorded, which means you purchase the product through my online store. And then what I do is I send you the project kits, and I film a video, and I go through step by step all the instructions of creating each one of the projects in the class. And being that, and then I email you with the video tutorial link, photographs of the cards as well, so you've got a reference point. And then you've got the video then to watch as you like. You can sit and do the cards as you like. You can do them all in one go. You can do one now, one later, one another time. There's usually 3 projects that we do in each of my classes, unless otherwise stated. Some of my classes have additional. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I love when I see my class participants post their projects in my classes and workshop group as well. I have a Facebook group for my classes and workshop. If you're interested in following along with that and keeping up to date with all of my classes and workshops, feel free to get in contact with me so I can add you into the group there as well. So yeah, all right, well, I will leave it there, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Remember that I am going to be live again on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. If you like quick and simple cards, quick and simple projects, then come along and join us at 11 o'clock and see what I've got in store for you this week. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again next Monday at 4 o'clock. Have a great week, everyone. Happy crafting. Bye.